Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Deep Dive. You guys have been digging deep into prompt engineering with ChatGPT, and let me tell you, your research is awesome.
It is impressive.
We've got some really cool stuff to cover today.
Yeah.
Excerpts from this paper. It's called A Prompt Pattern Catalog to Enhance Prompt Engineering with ChatGPT.
Okay.
And it's by researchers at Vanderbilt University.
All right.
And this research is really onto something.
Yeah.
It's really cool. We're going to break down these prompt patterns.
Okay.
And by the time we're done with this deep dive, you're going to have a way better grasp of how to really become a ChatGPT power user.
I love that. Yeah, and what's really fascinating about this research is the parallel they draw between software design patterns and prompt engineering patterns.
Okay.
Like they've created this blueprint for getting the most out of ChatGPT.
So instead of just asking the right questions, it's like you're figuring out the structure beneath that to get what you want out of ChatGPT.
Exactly. You think about it like this. Instead of just speaking the language, you're learning the grammar and syntax. And that lets you make way more complex and nuanced sentences.
Okay, got it. I'm ready to unlock the secret language of prompt engineering.
All right.
Let's start with meta language creation. It sounds like we're about to teach ChatGPT linguistics.
Basically, yes. You're teaching ChatGPT a new language.
Okay.
So, for example, they talk about creating a shorthand for describing graphs in this paper.
All right.
So imagine being able to define a simple symbol for like a node and edge and its properties.
Yeah.
Instead of writing this long description of a graph, you just have this super efficient notation that ChatGPT can understand like right away.
So it's like a secret code between you and ChatGPT.
Exactly.
That's pretty cool. But then how do we get ChatGPT to do something with that? Is that where Output Automator comes in?
Precisely. And this is where things get really, really powerful. Like imagine ChatGPT tells you to create a Python script as part of its response, and then boom, it generates that script for you automatically. No more copying and pasting, just pure automation.
Hold on. So ChatGPT is writing code based on my prompt. That's way beyond just like generating text.
Yeah, this is getting into some really powerful stuff. This pattern hints at a future where LLMs can control entire systems.
Oh, whoa.
Think about like automatically generating configuration files or deploying applications to the cloud.
Oh, wow.
Or even building websites, all from just a few well-crafted prompts.
Okay, that's mind-blowing. But let's say I want ChatGPT to guide me through something instead of doing it for me. Is that where flipped interaction comes in?
You shot it. This one turns the tables. Instead of you asking ChatGPT questions, it starts asking you questions.
Okay.
It's like ChatGPT becomes the interviewer trying to gather all the info it needs to complete a task or solve a problem.
So instead of saying, write me a poem, I could say, help me write a poem, and then be like, okay, what's the theme?
Yeah, exactly.
What's the style? What's the mood? That's a really cool way to use it.
Yeah, and this pattern is all about creating that dynamic back and forth where ChatGPT is probing for information and then tailoring its responses based on your input.
Oh, yeah.
It can be super powerful for personalized learning or interactive storytelling or even just exploring a topic in depth.
All right, let's move on to a pattern that sounds like it could be a little mischievous. It's called persona. This sounds like we're going to give ChatGPT a whole new personality.
Haha. In a way, yes. With persona, you're instructing ChatGPT to adopt a specific persona or role. So let's say you've just written some code for like a banking app. Instead of asking ChatGPT for general feedback, you could say, you are a cybersecurity expert specializing in financial systems. Analyze this code for vulnerabilities.
Oh, wow.
Now, ChatGPT's feedback is going to be laser-focused on the most critical security risks.
Okay.
As if it was coming from a seasoned security professional.
That's really powerful. It's like giving it specific lenses to view the world through. And the paper mentions an example where they use the persona pattern to simulate a compromised Linux terminal during a cybersecurity game.
Oh, wow.
Talk about immersive learning.
Exactly. The possibilities are endless. You could have ChatGPT act as a historical figure or a fictional character or even a specialized expert in any field.
All right. My brain is already buzzing with ideas, but there's still more patterns to explore.
Let's do it.
Tell me about question refinement. This sounds like a real time saver for research.
Yeah, imagine typing a question into ChatGPT and it automatically refines your question to make it clearer or more specific or more aligned with its knowledge base.
Okay.
It's like having a research assistant constantly tweaking your queries to make sure you're getting the most relevant and insightful results.
So instead of me fumbling around trying to find the perfect way to phrase it, ChatGPT steps in and says, I think you meant this.
Exactly.
And here's a better answer.
Yeah. That's the power of question refinement. It's all about optimizing that search process, leveraging ChatGPT's vast knowledge to make sure you're asking the right questions in the right way.
Okay, let's keep this pattern train rolling.
Uh-huh. Okay.
What about cognitive verifier? Does that have something to do with ChatGPT fact-checking itself?
You're getting warm. Cognitive verifier is about breaking down complex questions into smaller, more manageable chunks.
Okay.
That leads to more accurate and nuanced answers.
Got it.
Instead of trying to tackle a huge question all at once, ChatGPT thinks step-by-step verifying its logic along the way.
So instead of getting overwhelmed, it breaks it down into bite-sized pieces.
Exactly.
And then it's easier to understand the logic. This feels like a huge step towards making AI more transparent and trustworthy.
Absolutely. And that leads us to a related pattern fact check list. This one is all about addressing the issue of AI hallucinations.
Hallucinations. Those moments when ChatGPT seems to make up facts or go off on these tangents that are totally off base. How does this help?
So with fact check list, ChatGPT automatically generates a list of facts from its response that you should verify yourself.
Okay.
It's like a built-in truthometer to double-check ChatGPT's claims.
Oh, that's really smart. So it reminds us that ChatGPT is a powerful tool, but it's not infallible.
Right.
We still need to use our own brains and double-check, especially when we're making important decisions based on what it says.
Exactly. And it's a good reminder that the responsibility for accuracy ultimately lies with us, the users.
Yeah.
We need to use these tools wisely and ethically.
Okay.
Speaking of which, let's talk about a pattern that has the potential to be both incredibly powerful and a bit controversial. Infinite generation.
Okay, infinite generation.
Okay.
That sounds both exhilarating and potentially dangerous. Tell me more.
So imagine a never-ending stream of content flowing from ChatGPT, all based on your initial prompt.
Okay.
It's like tapping into an unlimited wellspring of creativity. You could generate endless story ideas or musical variations or even design concepts, all without having to constantly re-enter the same prompt.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
But I can also see how that could be misused. What if someone used that to create harmful content like spam or propaganda?
Yeah, that's the ethical tightrope we walk with all powerful technologies.
Right.
The infinite generation pattern offers incredible potential, but it also comes with this responsibility to use it ethically and thoughtfully.
Yeah.
And that's something we'll be discussing more in depth in the next part of this deep dive.
I can't wait. Welcome back to the deep dive. We're continuing our exploration of prompt patterns, and I'm still reeling from the possibilities of infinite generation. It seems like there's so much power in these patterns to shape ChatGPT's behavior.
It's like we're learning these secrets to unlock ChatGPT's true potential. And we've got even more fascinating patterns to unpack today.
Well, don't keep me in suspense.
Yeah.
What's next on our prompt pattern adventure?
Let's talk about the template pattern. This one is all about precision and control. Imagine you need to generate URLs where specific information needs to be inserted at precise locations within the URL path.
Okay.
The template pattern lets you define a structured format that ChatGPT must adhere to, ensuring that all the essential elements are in the right place and in the right format.
So it's like giving ChatGPT a fill-in-the-blanks template to work with.
Exactly.
Making sure it stays within the boundaries. I can see how that would be really useful for tasks that require a very specific structure, like generating code snippets or writing reports.
Exactly. And the template pattern isn't just limited to text. Think about generating data in a specific format, like a JSON file or a CSV spreadsheet.
Okay, yeah.
With the template pattern, you can ensure that ChatGPT's output is structured correctly and ready to be used in other applications.
And this next pattern sounds like it could create some seriously mind-bending results. It's called Visualization Generator. Are we about to turn ChatGPT into an artist?
Get ready for some visual magic.
Uh-huh.
While ChatGPT is primarily a text-based tool, the visualization generator pattern leverages its text generation capabilities to create stunning visuals.
Okay.
Remember, a picture is worth 1,000 words.
So instead of just getting text outputs, we could ask ChatGPT to create diagrams, charts, graphs, and maybe even artwork?
Precisely. It's like having ChatGPT collaborate with a graphic designer.
Okay.
For example, ChatGPT could generate a detailed description of a network graph, which could then be fed into a visualization tool like GraphViz to render an actual visual graph.
That's incredible. It opens up a whole new world of possibilities for communicating complex information in a clear and visually appealing way.
Yeah.
I can already imagine using this to create presentations, reports, and even educational materials.
The possibilities are vast, and the best part is that you don't need to be a coding expert to use the visualization generator pattern.
Good.
There are many user-friendly tools available that can translate ChatGPT's text outputs into stunning visuals.
Okay, let's shift gears and talk about something that's near and dear to my heart. Games. Tell me everything about the gameplay pattern.
Get ready to level up your ChatGPT experience. The gameplay pattern is all about designing interactive games and experiences driven by ChatGPT's creativity. Imagine using ChatGPT to generate scenarios, challenges, characters, and even storylines for a game that you can then play.
This is like having ChatGPT become the ultimate game master, creating endless possibilities for adventure and exploration.
Exactly.
The paper mentioned an example where they used ChatGPT to design a cybersecurity game. That's a brilliant way to make learning about cybersecurity fun and engaging.
Exactly. And it's not just limited to educational games.
Right.
You could use ChatGPT to create interactive stories, role-playing games, or even simulations. The only limit is your imagination.
Okay, my brain is already buzzing with ideas for epic quests and challenging puzzles powered by ChatGPT. But before I get too carried away, let's talk about the reflection pattern. This sounds like we're about to have a deep philosophical conversation with ChatGPT.
Haha, not quite, but it's definitely a step towards greater understanding and transparency. The reflection pattern encourages ChatGPT to explain the reasoning behind its answers, giving you a peek behind the curtain of its decision-making process.
So it's like asking ChatGPT, why did you say that?
Yeah,
Or
right.
how did you arrive at that conclusion? That would be incredibly helpful for debugging prompts, especially if ChatGPT's response seems unexpected or unusual.
Exactly. It's all about building trust and collaboration.
Yeah.
By having ChatGPT articulate its reasoning, we can gain valuable insights into its knowledge base, its biases, and its potential limitations.
This feels like a big step towards making AI more human-centered, where we can have a dialogue with these systems and better understand how they work.
Absolutely. And it opens up new avenues for research and exploration.
Yeah.
By understanding ChatGPT's thought process, we can identify areas for improvement and develop even more sophisticated and reliable AI systems.
All right, before my head explodes from all these amazing patterns,
Yeah.
tell me about one that sounds a bit rebellious. Refusal breaker. What secrets does this pattern hold?
Imagine asking ChatGPT a question and it refuses to answer.
Okay.
Maybe it deems the question inappropriate, unsafe, or outside its knowledge domain. The refusal breaker pattern is about finding ways to rephrase or restructure your question to circumvent those refusals and elicit a response.
So it's like hacking the system, finding clever workarounds to get ChatGPT to spill the beans even when it's trying to play it safe.
In a way, yes. But it's important to approach this pattern with caution.
Okay.
The researchers acknowledge the potential for misuse, as it could be used to bypass safety protocols or elicit responses that ChatGPT is intentionally designed to avoid.
Right. We don't want to encourage ChatGPT to engage in harmful or unethical behavior.
Yeah.
It's all about finding the right balance between exploration and responsibility.
Precisely. The refusal breaker pattern is a fascinating tool for research, as it helps us understand the boundaries and limitations of LLMs. But it's also a reminder that we need to use these tools ethically and thoughtfully, always considering the potential consequences of our actions.
Well said. Now let's talk about a pattern that sounds like it could bring a little order to the sometimes chaotic world of ChatGPT interactions. Tell me about Context Manager.
You've got a knack for picking out the gems. The context manager pattern is all about controlling the information that ChatGPT considers when generating a response.
Sure.
It's like setting up these mental guardrails, guiding ChatGPT to focus on specific topics or ignore irrelevant information.
So it's like being ChatGPT's personal filter, helping it sift through all this data and zero in on the most relevant information for the task at hand.
Exactly. Imagine you're working on a code review and want ChatGPT to focus solely on security aspects.
Okay.
You could use the context manager pattern to tell ChatGPT to ignore things like coding style or variable naming conventions, ensuring that its feedback is laser-focused on security vulnerabilities.
This would be a game changer for streamlining our interactions with ChatGPT, especially when dealing with complex tasks that involve multiple layers of information.
Yeah.
Being able to control the context would make things so much more efficient.
And it's not just about adding or removing context. You can also use this pattern to reset ChatGPT's memory completely. essentially starting a fresh conversation without any baggage from previous interactions.
That's like hitting the refresh button on ChatGPT's brain, giving it a clean slate to work with.
Yeah.
I can see how that would be incredibly useful for switching between completely different tasks or starting a new project with a clear focus.
Well, we've explored a wide range of prompt patterns, from the creative to the practical, from the mind-bending to the potentially controversial.
Yeah,
But there's one more pattern we need to discuss, one that ties everything together: the recipe pattern.
a recipe pattern. I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
Tell me more about how this culinary-inspired approach to prompt engineering works.
Imagine you're trying to deploy an application to the cloud. Some of the steps involved, but you're not quite sure about the complete sequence or the optimal order.
Right.
The recipe pattern comes to the rescue.
So we could tell ChatGPT our desired outcome, like deploying the application,
Right.
and list some of the steps we know are involved. And ChatGPT would fill in the missing steps, suggest alternative approaches, and even identify any unnecessary steps based on its knowledge and expertise.
Precisely. It's like having an expert chef guiding you through the process, ensuring that you have all the right ingredients and follow the recipe to perfection.
Oh, I love it.
This pattern combines elements of the template, alternative approaches, and reflection patterns to create a comprehensive and powerful tool for guiding ChatGPT's output.
Okay, my mind is officially blown. This recipe pattern sounds incredibly useful for tackling complex tasks that involve multiple steps and decisions. But wait, there's more, right? We still need to distill all of this knowledge into key takeaways and leave our listeners with some thought-provoking insights.
You're absolutely right. We've only just begun to scratch the surface of what's possible with prompt engineering. And in the final part of this deep dive, we'll explore the bigger picture and discuss what all of this means for the future of human-computer interaction.
Welcome back to the deep dive. It's been quite the journey through the world of prompt patterns, and I feel like we've only just begun to see what's possible.
It really is remarkable how these patterns turn us from just users into collaborators with ChatGPT. We can shape how it responds in ways we never thought possible.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, let's zoom out and talk about what this all means. What does this mean for you, the listener?
Well, it means that you've got this power to unlock ChatGPT's true potential. You're not just limited to asking simple questions and getting simple answers anymore.
Right.
You can automate complicated tasks. You can get insights from huge amounts of data, and you can even create interactive learning experiences, all through the power of crafting the right prompts.
This research has really opened my eyes. It's made me realize that prompt engineering isn't just a technical skill, it's like an art form.
I completely agree. It's about understanding the nuances of language, the power of structure, and how to use that to guide all of ChatGPT's vast knowledge towards a specific goal.
Think about the meta-language creation pattern. We're basically teaching ChatGPT to think in new ways, expanding its vocabulary and its understanding of complex ideas.
And with patterns like Output Automator and Visualization Generator, we're blurring the line between just text generation and other creative things like coding or graphic design.
It seems like the possibilities are endless. I can imagine a future where people are using these patterns to create entirely new forms of art, music, literature, even scientific discoveries.
It's a really exciting time to be exploring the world of AI. And as these technologies keep evolving, it's important that we approach them with curiosity, but also with responsibility.
Absolutely. These are really powerful tools, and it's up to us to use them ethically and thoughtfully.
So as you continue your own journey with ChatGPT, we leave you with this challenge. What new prompt patterns can you come up with?
What creative solutions or expressions are waiting to be discovered? The power is in your hands.
Go out there, experiment, and don't be afraid to push the limits of what's possible. And remember, the most important pattern is your own curiosity and creativity.
Thanks for joining us on the deep dive into prompt patterns. Keep exploring, keep learning, and keep those prompts flowing. We'll see you next time.